Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Minna Kreitch, and today I'm going to continue with more evidence on my criminal court case. And I'm the narrator of all my YouTube channel video clips. Okay, so for those who've been watching me on my social media platform, quite clear that my case is a left behind case. Okay. So because of privacy breaches, that's the starting point. Everything in regards to what's happened to me is now after the fact, but there's clear evidence now clear evidence in my personal profile that I've actually been used for a pecuniary advantage. So this is the best way to actually just to get your mindset around it. But it is the starting point of a left behind case like myself is that secret societies are taking turns stealing. It's very easy to do. And they're also cheating in everything that they do. And if you be watching the other clips, I've clearly articulate how they're cheating. Okay, so they're using it's like a Ponzi scam, but they're using other women. In my case, I've used other women like a relationship scam, or if you're a man, they're using other men, and yeah. So it's really easy to do, but the point of the matter is I am actually the original in my profile. So this psychological illusion sort of a game that I don't know what I want to call it. It is the new age sport. Okay. I'm still get shocked about when I realize what I've gone through all this time and what I've, the seriousness of everything that I've gone through, and then the reality of how it works and everything. But what actually happens is the secret societies are actually pinning down individuals and their families or whoever. Anyone can be subject to this, because this happened while I was working for my employer. And they can actually hostage taking, and you become like a slave, and they're actually secretly stealing. And it is a secret government and public sport. But most victims don't realize that they're actually subject to it. Some even end up being murdered, not realizing that they're actually being subject to an illegal, a game by secret societies to derail them out of their occupation, and then take them down on a financial ruin, and also ruining their reputation at the same time. So this is what it looks like. On the surface, the game has been, I have no idea how long it's been active, and when I started realizing what they were actually doing, but this is the best way to describe it. I've got a tower here, which is me, describing what human trafficking is, or maybe even a petrol station like kind of a thing, and then they're secretly playing games and everything I apply for, and in this case, quite a lot of stuff, including my court cases, and they're doing everything secret, but there's money laundering involved behind it, and then the secret societies of the women, they are groomed also by another alliance. That's how it becomes a game. And the inciting and the coding, it's a real life game. And me being the victim in all this game, the human trafficking ring that I've been trapped in, when I do go out, people do come out and behave like they're zombies, or, just like, I just know it's not natural. I've been quite concerned. That's why I rang the police, because it's public. There's no safety in it at all. It's dangerous. But it does end up them using people for money laundering purposes. embezzlement and tax invasion and much more. You can also be targeted for organ harvesting. And for those who don't understand what organ harvesting is, people there nowadays are like, needing organs around the world, and they'd pay a lot of money just for organs. People can get murdered just for that. So basically anything. And I've also realised that the relationship scam linking to the women that are, if you've been watching the other clips, it's been a global game for a very long time. But there is definitely twinning and secret twinning and switching of the relationships globally. And the whole idea is who gets the guy and the money, okay? Even though the money belongs to me, they're stealing. And I'm talking about anything that I do, they're secretly stealing. And that's why I've been going back on my personal profile, because it is a criminal case, and now I can prove legally that is what they have used me for, which makes it very serious. So I'll just carry on, but it is a global game, right? The best way I can describe it, they've twinned me. It's been a scientific experiment by the government or whoever's behind it, some powerful people. So everything's been out of my control. But from my version of facts and from what I've gone through within the moment, they have twinned me, and then they've kind of like refer me to the legislation kind of a thing. Like they've used me to actually change the legislation. That is what I found. So, but I'm more of like in a downhill path, where everything is intentional, and then the individual is actually going to get either murdered or just going down a path of destruction, where people are, their intent is to eliminate you. So that's what happens to the original, and I'm the original. So it can happen to anybody. So what I have found during my journey, it's been so intimate, and really, I'm not kidding. It's that intimate. They're recording all the positive things or everything they're saying, and they're doing the opposite. Okay, they're actually setting me up in the moment while I was working for my employer, and if I'm involved with family members or stuff like that or anything, they are actually using people in your environment to set you up or to premeditate things. The whole idea is that they're going to switch you, okay? They're going to switch you with whoever the public has chosen to steal. So those women that are being part of the game is part of the game. So they're all got the support of another alliance. So these alliances can be, because it's a global game, their sponsors can be anybody prominent around the world. Okay, it's a Commonwealth game, and they want to have a foot in the door or whatever it is. But at this stage, I've been the competitor all this time. Okay, a competitor to take me out, a competitor to overtake everything that I've done, or just a downhill roller coaster of everything. And then they switch, so that's why I put that there. And it's more like I can't just say it's just a woman gang, but it's a combination of heaps of people. They call themselves cats, but what I have found pretty dangerous about this game is that they are deleting evidence, and there's probably a couple of perpetrators operating at once, and everyone's got a job. Okay, everyone's got a job in your environment. They're just texting each other, and then they're erasing. But it's so easy to do. And the originals are usually people that are sitting ducks. They have no defense, or they don't even know they're attacked. And then so the posters is the best way to actually explain visually what is actually happening. So it is indirect. Most of the offences or the serious violent offences that does occur is indirect. Okay, so everything's like indirect abuse. But in the legal world of criminal laws, anything indirect offence, which is serious violence offences. I mean, it just says 3 words in the criminal act, but it's actually when it's actually really, really serious. If it says serious violent offences, that's really serious. 3 words in the legislation. But that is how they are describing indirect organised crime. Okay, like people who conspire to murder people secretly, indirect, planned it, and then they plot. It's called serious violent offences, and that usually occurs through privacy breaches and premeditated organised crime. So that this is, but you'd find that they all link to breaches to the original. So it's a matter of just finding out who are the participants and who is playing this game that is illegal. It's a warlike game and it's illegal. It's illegal and it's very serious. But their whole idea is to take out or eliminate either a group of people or an individual or anything to do with money laundering purposes. But they are classified as den of thieves because it's a sport and they're breaking every single law in the legislation. And they call them, they have different names, but it's like a drug ring kind of a thing, but the kind that I've been through is a trafficking ring where they've used me for relationship scams and even steal my intellectual property as far as the court cases are concerned, and tax invasion has taken place. I know they've used me and stolen fund money using me and stuff like that. So this is what it looks like using the technologies behind the scene. They have no legal search warrant. They're listening to everything you're saying. Your neighbours could be, part of the whole game. It shouldn't be happening. I know it's happening. I get really frustrated because I know it's happening and I feel so violated. But, you just learn to live with it and just try and ignore it. But you just got to be extra careful. But so a breach does cause a privacy invasion. Common sense is, these like people get tempted to do things if they've got the opportunity to take something or steal off someone without getting caught, they'll do it. So it's really easy for them to set up traps. Okay, so that is what's happened to me historically. So I just use this as a duck just to describe those that actually mind their own business, or those that just do everything what people say and just too trusting, or you got a good heart or something, you just believe everybody and you don't realize that, some people have an evil intent and you just, do things out of the kindness of your heart, and then only to find out that they've just used you with an evil intent to steal and kill you, which is the reality of some of the incidents that's taken place in my life. So those that would be classified as innocent civilians are those that actually mind their own business and they're just, going about doing the right thing with their business, and then secret societies are doing unlawful investigation, doing unlawful spying, using public people to try and find out your trade secrets, and without a search warrant. That's what they're doing, but you'd be classed as an innocent civilian. But that's why, because it's so easy now, because everybody is easy to be locked out and then go through what I've gone through. So I just titled these ducks as like no self-defense. This duck is gullible. This duck is naive. This duck is plastic. And this one here is easily deceived. Just a description of different individuals. So the definition, basically what I'm describing to you is actually, I've been in a lockout situation, but all kinds of things are happening and I've known it. So I've just thought I'd just use this as an example. Money laundering takes place and it is definitely a crimes act. And yeah. All right, so when you're in a situation like myself where you're incarcerated, things like Ponzi scheme can take place, and this is the best way to describe it because it's been a global game that's happened to me, and the government is clearly very much involved in it because they all know about what's going on and everyone's participating, using their own people, or they're either siding with my competitors. I'm not competing with anyone; they're competing with me. So I'm not breaking any laws. They are, because they're on my space. But it is called a conspiracy. Right? When you do things unlawfully and you've broken laws secretly, it's called a conspiracy. Conspiracy crimes when you get caught. And if you've stolen, then yeah, there's even more evidence against you. But the game that I've been involved with globally is people are watching. The competitors are watching. They may be secretly voting and helping the alliance that they want to win, to the point where they'll break any laws. So it is very dangerous if you're unaware, but I'm sure everyone's aware now. So, for those that don't know what a whistleblower is apparently I didn't really understand what a whistleblower was myself, because I've never really had anything to do with that word, or because it just didn't think it would affect me. But not until I actually went through what I went through. But a whistleblower is actually a person who exposes corruption in an organisation or in a government organisation. So the retaliation comes from all the staff ganging on those that are opposing or is the victim. So in this case, they see a whistleblower as an enemy of a state. Okay, not everybody does, because not everyone supports corruption, but that is what anyone who works for the government who wants to contest or doesn't agree or stand against things that they don't want to do, because we all have that right. You risk yourself getting discriminated and racial disharmony takes over. Unfortunately, that is illegal still. And, just because they've got their occupation, they are still bound by the law. They are not allowed to use their occupation for warlike offences like they've done to me. But a whistleblower, according to the law, is someone who actually exposes corruption. Okay, and I've stood against what everyone has done to me, because it's the right thing to do, and I would do it again if I had to relive my life. I will still do it again, because the things I witness, it shouldn't be happening, but I don't regret standing against it, because I've had, not that I've done anything wrong to do that, and I'm not. But for the sake of all the honest people too within the, not everyone's corrupt. There's a lot of good, honest people working for the government, and you want to maintain your own personal integrity and also the integrity of the government, and also protect your family, your private life. So now, because I'm out of that, now I'm, on the other side, I am able to prove now globally that I have been used for money laundering, making a lot of people accountable for what they've done, which needs to take place. So in reality, I am the aggrieved complainant. The opposing allies are making up all kinds of lies. They're using the misuse of devices, gossip, to defame. They're digging up people's past, and then they're creating deception on the surface to win more people over their side. Hence, that's the reason why I was denouncing those relationships with Natalie and Amy Denton, because they were linked to the government. I think everyone's aware of that now. But so were the Moana, linked to the government, and then there was other relationship with Rob and his Asian girlfriend. All they did was join forces. Okay, I've been furious about the whole thing because they've contaminated my private and everything. And half of my family didn't know. Didn't know. It was like, because I'm a left behind situation, and they don't understand the law like how people in government should understand. So the people that gets into trouble first are those in fiduciary duties, or the police, anyone in authority. So accountability always takes place, but the reality is I am the aggrieved complainant, so which is serious case too, because and also I'm the victim of crimes, and I've never acted like it. But I'm not born. I was never born to suffer for nobody. I have not found it funny that people are secretly using me and stealing off me. It's not on, and it's not acceptable. But this, if you don't know what a whistleblower is, that is what a whistleblower is. And the retaliation does take place. And unfortunately, a lot of innocent civilians get hurt, lose their jobs, go to prison, or get murdered. But yeah, so that is what a whistleblower is. I still don't believe you should, if you feel unsafe in your job, I think you should leave. I've actually looked back and I thought to myself, could I have done anything different? The answer is no. I believe I made all the right decisions within the moment. And like that story of Hansel and Gretel, I also believe I left enough evidence, because I have felt in my heart, personally, I thought I am going to make sure you all lose your jobs, because the things I witnessed was just not on. It was really bad. But even finding out now too that it's a global thing, it makes it even more unsafe for the public and even for those in government. So the originals are the ones that are suppressed, tortured, tormented, they're trapped. They're the ones, they would be called, according to the law, the victims. That they're the ones suffering pain. They are the one being persecuted, can't go forward. They can't advance. They're being pinned down, and when they try and get to advance and do the right thing to try and get themselves out of the situation, then the opposing allies come along with their people and sabotage, trap them, make things difficult, abuse them, you name it. Okay, so anyone that's going through that, you would be classed as a victim of crimes. And there's laws also to protect victims from being victimized. But everything that's happened to me has been so personal, so intimate. It's been immediate. It is, I would call, conspiracy to commit murder. Okay. Yeah. So this here, I know you guys have seen this floating in some of my other videos, so I thought I'd explain. This I chose as a good way to actually explain what human trafficking is. Okay. Quite clearly, people can see that I'm pretty intelligent. Everything I do is money, and especially with things that I've been doing with my court case, a lot of it has been my own research, and a lot of it's experience and knowledge, and that means a lot of money to other people, because then they can get to steal my ideas and stuff like that to help themselves. So human trafficking is when a person is actually being trapped, and then we've got secret societies on the surface doing everything they can to ruin or defame your reputation, or to turn people away, or just from gossiping, defaming, watching social media deception, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm doing both public. I will be doing both public and legally everything. Just for the sake of safety, and until I'm satisfied I don't need to do it anymore. But I'm just that is why I've been going public on my social media, because a lot of people have woken up to how serious what I've gone through. But these bottles here is, people that are being trafficked, they are premeditated, like selected. I've been premeditated selected while working for my employer, and that's easily proven now. So, women can be premeditated selected, and anyone can be for organ harvesting, and they just spy on you for those reasons. Then there's different types of trafficking, also for sex. Well, they wouldn't get that out of me because I'm not, I'm not the type of person who can easily do things like that, threaten up, but they have used me for relationship scams and stealing my intellectual property, and a lot of money laundering going on behind the scene. So this here, and they think it's free money, but it's quite serious. It's very serious. What's happened to me can happen to anyone's business. Once they've studied, it's that serious. And for some people, this kind of a game, they get a kick out of it, not being caught. Like, a thief, they're thieves. And they get a kick out of just deceiving people and getting away with it because they think they can. But it is a sport, and it is committed by invisible perpetrators. Okay, I'm just going to go on to some of the evidence I thought I just want to disclose on this clip. But here is Pastor King. This is my dad. So I just wanted to confirm just a few things. I'm just trying to find it. See if I can find it. Here it is. Now, okay, I think we are finished. Right. Okay, and here you go. Let's see.